Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're here to talk about NXT from May the 14th, 2023. And we in here now. We start the show with Noam Dar laying all over the ground. I don't know why his legs wouldn't move. He couldn't move his legs. And everybody was concerned we had another whodunit. Who attacked Noam Dar? We just did this. We just did a whodunit, right? We're back to doing whodunits. So Noam Dar's legs don't work, and we're trying to figure out who done it. Who did this thing? So they're backstage, the metaphor. Lash Legend is warming up for her big qualifying match for the North American title, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with Noam Dar's legs. In any event, Lash Legend doesn't think Trick Williams attacked Noam Dar, and everybody is suspicious. Like, why don't you think Trick Williams attacked Noam Dar? It's like, wasn't you in the ring last week? The Trick Willie Wonka, wasn't you there? You should already know what's going on. But the metaphor is all in a tizzy. Noam Dar was scheduled to wrestle Javon Evans on this show. He was replaced by Oral Mensah, who took up the spot on his behalf, and these two cooked. They had a pretty good match. The one thing I have a problem with when it comes to these modern day high flyers is how it's hard to, you can clearly see them doing spots. Like, there's a spot in this match where Javon Evans hits a really nice spin kick, but it's done almost in slow motion so that Oral Mensah could avoid it. It's like back in the day when people used to call Shawn Michaels a spot monkey. You know, his stuff was smooth. When you watch him and Owen Hart and they're doing, the kip ups with the arm, the arm twisters and all that kind of stuff, it's not done in slow motion that you can see right through it. Modern indie workers like Javon Evans, he's very young. I'm going to give him some shit, but he's very young. You can see them thinking through the spots that they pre-planned ahead of time. That's my only problem with matches like this. I think they did a really good job, though. I thought the match was enjoyable, told a decent enough story, and Booker T is on commentary wondering if Javon Evans can make money. Basically, can he draw in money? I'm like, what? This is fourth match. Third or fourth match. Book, cut him some slack. Anyway, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend were both trying to cheat on behalf of Oral Mensah, but Trick Williams came out and he distracted Lash Legend, which of course distracted Oral Mensah, and led to Javon Evans winning with I don't know what they call it, but it's like a tornado thing that he does in the air. And he landed directly on Oral Mensah for the 3 count. Solid enough match. Really good match between these two guys. Trick Williams raised Javon Evans' hand after the match. So it was all great. We still didn't find out who did it. So we don't know who done it. We don't know who attacked Noam Dar. I guess we'll figure it out later. I'm going to guess Noam Dar was not attacked at all. And it was fake. And he was trying to frame Trick Williams. That's going to be my guess. Because he's a heel. So my guess is this is all BS. And he's just trying to get some sympathy so that Lash will care about him and the metaphor and turn against Trick Williams. That's going to be my guess. Now, Izzy Dame is talking to Kiana James. And Kiana James, of course, had been called up to Monday Night Raw. But she came back for this one night to give Izzy Dame a pep talk, saying, there's a reason why I befriended only you in this locker room. You can do it. And Izzy Dame was like, yeah, I can do it. And then she promptly went out there and didn't do it. Sol Ruka defeats Izzy Dame to qualify for the North American Championship, white belt version. Solid match. It was okay. Not Sol Ruka's best match. Sol Ruka hit the Soul Snatcher on Izzy Dame. Similar situation here that I was talking about with Javon Evans in terms of Sol Ruka, where you could see her thinking through her spots. And there's an element of she slows down where you could see them, they're about to do something because she slowed down, you know? Izzy Dame doesn't have a lot of matches. Hell, Sol Ruka doesn't even have a lot of matches. So they'll get used to it. They'll get over this being kind of slow thing. They'll figure it out. So to continue the Women's North American Championship picture, I double back to Lash Legend defeating Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile was in the Combine. She did well. She has to wrestle Lash Legend in this match. Lash Legend got into some trouble and ended up getting bulldog off the top rope, which to me should be a finish. If you get a bulldog off the top rope, that's a finisher. I don't know why somebody talked Ivy Nile into doing that for a spot that people kick out of. Please change your mind on this. Ivy Nile is much better than she used to be, and God bless Lash Legend for getting better too. Remember, she used to be one of the worst workers in the world. And basically bullying works because Lash Legend has gotten so much better. Boy, you can go back in time and see that Lash Legend was basically getting big show heat by people on the internet. It seemed like a long time ago now, doesn't it? It seemed like ages ago. It's probably like a year or so ago that Lash Legend was getting dogged on social media, But she wins the match here after Jakara Jackson grabbed Ivy Nile's leg, which distracted her, leading to Lash Legend hitting the slam dunk for the win. So Lash Legend is in the North American Championship match. All is well on that front. The North American title is looking so far as I expected. Thea Hale is wrestling Fallon Henley next week. That ought to be interesting. I forgot what the other match is going to be. I already forgot. So we'll figure it out when we get there. So Ava Raine is talking to Tony D'Angelo. She tells Tony D'Angelo she's throwing out that tag team match from last week because you just can't take a referee. And Tony D'Angelo was like, hey, the referee, where'd the referee go? I didn't do nothing to that ref. He had bronchitis. And everybody else was like, yeah, it's going around. He's like, okay. Then she says to punish him, she's going to take away his Heritage Cup Championship match. They reminded her that the match has already been scheduled and already been advertised. And if she doesn't want to be, somebody who advertises something that's not going to happen, she says, well, you got a point. So I'm going to give you your match, but I'm going to fine you $20,000. 20,000 of them things. To which Tony D'Angelo nods to Rizzo, who brings out a manila folder filled, I'm assuming, with cash. And then he says this is the $20,000 plus some. So he must have assumed the fine was going to happen. Otherwise, why is he walking around with $20,000 in cash? If you didn't want people to think you were a mob boss, you're not doing a good job of it. This is a murderer, by the way. It must remind people, this guy's a killer. He kills people. Charlie Dempsey says that Damon Kemp and Miles Bourne, he's got in contact with them because apparently Tony D'Angelo didn't kill these guys. He just put them in the trunk, took them very far away, and left them. So, humorously, Ava wanted to know where these guys were, and Tony D'Angelo said, hey, they're going wherever they want to go. They out here doing free guy stuff. This is the United States of America last time I checked. Anyway, Charlie Dempsey says he talked to them and they will be coming to the arena, but he's ready to fight alone. And that in this situation, he can cry or he can fight. So he ain't never cried a day in his life. He's going to beat Tony D'Angelo within an inch of his life. I was like, I almost believed it. Nearly. It was like, it was right there a little bit. Tony D'Angelo defeats Charlie Dempsey to win the Heritage Cup. Oh, my brother. Oh, goodness. Of all the titles to put on Tony D'Angelo, you choose the Heritage Cup. Shawn Michaels. You know how a Green Goblin smacks Spider-Man across the head? I want to do that to Shawn Michaels right now. Like, of all the belts you decide to put on Tony D'Angelo, you decide to give him that damn cup. Why would you do that? Why? I'm not saying he should beat Femi right now. Femi is tremendous. We'll get to that in a second. I'm not saying he should beat Trick Williams right now. I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is the Heritage Cup. We got to do something about this thing here. Okay, we gotta. I don't know. I guess if he has to win a singles title, this has to be it. But Charlie Dempsey barely even got started. Like, this is his, technically, like, only his second defense or something like that. They did the whole thing with him and Regal, right? They did the whole thing with Dempsey and Regal that was leading you to think that Dempsey had something going for him in the future. Like, this was going to mean something. And it meant nothing, because they killed Drew Gulak. They murdered him. They julienned his body and flushed it down the toilet. Or whatever things that they've done to him. And ever since then, this thing has been in disarray. Well, to be quite honest, it was in disarray before then. They didn't follow up on the William Regal cameo. Why? Why you take the cup away from Dempsey right now? I don't know. All right, so Tony D'Angelo won round 1 and round 5. He won round 5 when Damon Kemp and Miles Bourne showed up to fight the family. It was a slight distraction for Charlie Dempsey. He hit the forget about it, which is his fisherman suplex to win the match. Charlie Dempsey did win round 3 by pinfall with a German suplex. But Tony D'Angelo is the new Heritage Cup champion. They completely shit all over the Dempsey Regal story that they had going. Mainly, there was no follow-up anyway. How long ago was that? I know somebody out there is really nerdy and are probably more studious than me, and you can Google it. But I'm pretty sure it was like April when they did the Regal Dempsey in-ring thing, and they dropped the ball on that. So is now an opportunity for Regal to express his disapproval or disappointment that Dempsey lost the cup so easily. The cup that he won, by the way, it seems to me like that would be the best option. But because Dempsey needs something. They clearly see something in this guy. They utilize him. They made him a champion. They send him to like do Bloodsport and to like All Japan. And, you know, they want him to get more experience. Clearly there's something there for Charlie Dempsey. But to have him lose so soon without really establishing himself as a champion, it's kind of goofy. And it's long overdue for Tony D'Angelo to win a title. But for God's sake, why did it have to be the Heritage Cup? Oh boy. Let's move on before I get too frustrated. Idris Enofe had a lucky rabbit's foot, but Brindley Reese threw it away and said he didn't need it. He did, though, because he wrestled OTM. It was Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, who have been in NXT for 5 years apiece, it seems like, doing nothing but jobs. You could probably count the amount of matches they won on one hand. This week, they were defeated by OTM, as one of Idris Enofe's boots came loose, and just magically came loose, and it was flopping all over the place. And, of course, it caused them to lose. Brindley Reese, who is usually a very gentle character, assaulted Jada Parker outside the ring, just attacked her. And the two had to be separated. They were, of course, outside catfighting and rolling around and such. Jada Parker, oh boy. Oof, that girl fine, man. Jesus. Anyway, I think they're going to be in the next tournament match. I think it's Brindley Reese and Jada Parker, if I remember correctly. So, Jada Parker, hilariously, they still got scripts in the video for OTM. So they haven't removed him yet. I think his contract has expired already, if I remember correctly. Either that or it will be expiring within the next couple of days. But you might as well go ahead and take him on out because he ain't coming back. OTM is going nowhere fast. That needs to just be, the guys with Jada Parker. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything like that. They barely even got started. But it's clear that Jada Parker is far and away more interesting in terms of character, promo, everything. She's far more interesting. And they probably should retool OTM to fit what she wants to do, rather than the boots and jeans, crime time look that these two guys have. I don't know what you do, but they're two big guys. I'm not saying, throw them away. I'm saying maybe they need to be repackaged a little bit, especially since the entire gimmick was based off of Scripps, who is now gone. So maybe you need to repackage OTM, as whatever Jada Parker wants to do, because she's clearly the star of this group. Speaking of stars, Lola Vice, she's backstage with Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler runs down her NXT resume. Lola Vice wants to fight Roxanne Perez. Then they get attacked by Natalya and Carmen Petrovich. During this fight, Lola Vice decks some unknown female in the face, just knocked her block off. We find out this young lady's name is Carly Bright, and she apparently has been wrestling on Main Event because there's a highlight package for her, despite the fact that nobody has ever seen this girl before in their life. Carly Bright goes to Ava Raine to complain and says she wants to have a match with Lola Vice. Lola Vice is hesitant to do so until they decide to start talking about, Carly Bright, well, she was number 13 in the Combine. She was just a shade off from making the top 12. And I'm like, who is this girl again? Even if this was kayfabe, she should at least have been on TV before if she was that goddamn good. In any event, she ended up getting her match with Lola Vice. And Lola Vice is tremendous. I got a complaint though. And ain't got nothing to do with Lola, if we're going to be honest. It's got everything to do with the production. So Lola Vice has a theme song, right? The theme song has a lot of Spanish words and stuff at the beginning, and then the beat drops, right? So when you look at Lola Vice's entrance, she starts coming out as soon as the music starts. But she's in the ring when the beat drops. Why isn't she just coming out to shoot when the beat drops? It seems to me that the beat should drop and then she should enter, rather than her walking to the ring and then the beat drop when she get to the ring apron, thereabouts. It just, I don't know. It seems to me like it would make her entrance seem bigger if, for starters, you cut the intro or just went straight to the beat drop and then she comes out. It probably would be better. I'm just saying. It's weird that she's coming to the ring and they're talking Spanish and there's like random music playing, but there's no beat. There's no whatever. Anyway, Lola Vice defeats Carly Bright. Of course she does. Carly Bright had a decent showing. She's kind of generic. Her theme song, I don't know what that is. I don't recognize that. Anyway, after Lola Vice wins, they're dancing. She's always trying to seduce Shayna Baszler. Then they get attacked by Carmen Petrovich and Natalya and challenged to a tag team match next week. Which, these four people have been tied up in a while. I think they could do a little bit more than a tag team match, but I guess you got to start somewhere, huh? So, Carmen Petrovich, she's still around. That's cool. That's cool. She's got a sword. That's cool. Maybe she and Drew McIntyre should knife fight. That would be fun. Axiom and Nathan Fraser are backstage. They're being talked to by Ridge Holland, who is actually talking about Chase University. He's trying to get Chase University a tag team championship match. Then the Good Brothers show up. They call Ridge Holland a main roster washout. I'm like, what? And say he doesn't belong in NXT. They're going to run him out. He's like, oh, you think so, huh? And they end up challenging each other to a match tonight. And I was like, I don't want to see that. I don't watch the Good Brothers. No, I sure don't. Ridge Holland had to go find a partner. He goes to Chase University. Well, Chase University comes to him. And they volunteer Riley Osborne because Riley Osborne is, he's a guy. He's there. He's in Chase U. And Ridge Holland is extremely excited about this because he gets to earn Riley Osborne's respect and earn the trust of Chase University. And I'm like, why does he want the respect? Why does he want the respect of like Riley Osborne, who's like 22 or something like that? Well, what the hell is that all about? In any event, they lost to the Good Brothers due to some miscommunication. Of course, the Good Brothers are going to win. They're working their way up to the Tag Team Championship. After the match, Ridge Holland and Riley Osborne shake hands, and Riley apologizes for causing the miscommunication, and Ridge says, no skin off my back, I lose all the time. It's not like you ended my winning streak or nothing like that. You just continue my losing streak, which, don't really appreciate, but it is what it is, sir. Thea Hale is just always very excited. She gave Ridge Holland a big hug around the waist, and I'm like, oh boy, he all sweaty and stuff. Like, that must be something. That must have been something. All right, they did a vignette where somebody is asleep, and it turns out that this, of course, is leading to Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu came back on Level Up. She returned, and it was actually aired on Twitter, and a lot of people was very excited. I didn't know Wendy Chu was that popular. Her theme song rocks. It's like the best theme song in NXT right now is the Wendy Chu theme. I didn't know she was gone for the better part of a year, too. I thought she was gone longer than that. I thought she had basically got cut, but she's still there, Wendy Chu. She's still doing the sleepy gimmick, too. I just see them making some money with this thing. With the Wendy Chu sleepy character, the ability to merchandise that thing is very, very high. I don't know how far it can go on the main roster because Triple H is going to want her to be all workaholic, but the ability to merchandise Wendy Chu is very high. Like I said, it's a very big, comfy couch. It can work, and she's apparently going to be making her NXT return very soon. Good. I'm very happy to hear that. Lexis King is backstage. He's been annoying again. Talk about being on fire. And then, very, very hot, Jasmine Nix shows up. She's got a get well card for JC Jane after JC Jane just had surgery on her face. Nobody wants to sign the card because nobody likes JC Jane, which is hilarious and fitting. But Lexis King, because he's enamored with Jasmine Nix, he's willing to sign it. But he doesn't know who JC Jane is, so he just keeps calling her Jamie or Jackie or whatever. So he signs the card without looking at it and says, "Get well soon, Jackie." And Jasmine Nix is a bit perturbed by this because clearly he got the name wrong because he's not paying attention. He doesn't care. This was a great little scene here. It was fun. I like the fun little character things. It doesn't really lead to much because I don't think there's going to be any kind of furthering of the story between Jasmine Nix and Lexis King. I don't think they're going to further that too much. But they got to show off, that Jasmine is the only person who really is a friend of JC. And she's out here trying to get a Goodwill card signed. And Lexis King is lecherous. He just wants to be close to the pretty girl and talk to the pretty girl, make the pretty girl smile. And that's it. And he's, of course, so inwardly motivated, so internally preoccupied that he's not paying attention to what he's signing. So it's a good character stuff. And it's short, didn't last long, had a little bit of humor to it. And absolutely Lexis King looked ridiculous with that beard. I don't know what he's doing to it. He looks like he's drawn on with a Sharpie. It's hilarious. Okay. The final segment of the show for us to discuss is Wesley in the ring. We get more of Wesley's boring stuff about his back and how his career is almost over. He got interrupted by Oba Femi, who says that he did great accomplishments as a North American champion, but now he's been forced to sit back and watch as Oba Femi takes the championship to the next level, and said that Wesley has the heart of a warrior, but he is a real warrior. He is an inconquerable mountain, the wall that Wesley can never climb. He's like Apocalypse from the X-Men animated series. He gets cut off because Ivar comes out there, and Ivar is a regular guy now. He's just regular fat guy Ivar. You meet him at the gas station. He's at 7-Eleven. He's at Trader Joe's eating peanuts. Just regular guy out with his kid. You know, just just a regular dude. You know, might go to the park, barbecue something. Go watch the football game. That's what we got here with Ivar. He's just, why is his name even Ivar at this point? His name should be like Steve. You know, he's coming across like a Theodore right now. He talks about him and Wesley having the same spinal surgeon, and that he wants another shot at the belt. He just lost. I'm like, that sucks. Then Josh Briggs came out. I'm like, he just lost too. What's going on here? So all three of them talking about, you know, losing and wanting another opportunity. Wesley suggested be a fatal four-way, but Femi was like, no. You know, fight amongst yourselves, and I'll fight the winner. So he took off. At the end of the show, however, at the very end, Briggs, Ivar, and Wesley are laying around on the ground, and we're like, oh no, not another whodunit. We just got one of those. And it turns out we got an immediate answer to this, because it's Gallus. It's the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang, the special training partners of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So Joe Coffey has decided to change his look a little bit, and now he has a big bushy mustache that is twirled upwards, like, you know, this is like he's part of the Gold Dust Trio or something like this. Okay, so Gallus is back. Happy days. I don't know, man. I'm not sure Gallus is what we need right now. I want to see how they're going to be presented, because they've been off TV for a little while, but I don't see them being presented in a way that's going to really impress. I don't think it's going to matter that much that they're on television. Gallus fell off a cliff. They were not bad in NXT UK, and then, like so many, they came over to WWE regular roster, you know, NXT or whatever, and they just could not get over. It's not sticking. So they're going to try it again. Hopefully Gallus will take these guys out of the way, because all of these guys are losers, with the exception of Wesley. He just returned. But Ivar and Briggs, yeah, if Gallus spends a couple of weeks kicking their shit in, that's fine with me. I don't know if I want Joe Coffey versus Femi, though. That might be fun. It could be fun. You might learn something, because Joe Coffey has a lot of experience. But and you know, he trained with The Rock, so he might have learned a thing or two himself. So it's okay. It's, you know, the possibilities are endless. But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't think Gallus is what we need right now. But it depends on how you use them, I suppose. So that's NXT. Solid show. Not the best show. Probably could have used a little bit more Trick Williams. He was not advertised to do anything on this show. He only made an appearance to distract Lash Legend. Maybe they'll do something else, I guess. But it's got to be some time to build up. I know they're supposed to be building up towards him and Noam Dar. So maybe next week we're going to have a little bit more of that. You know, Oro Mensah is going to confront Lash Legend about him losing. And we'll see where it goes from there. But there was a noticeable lack of Roxanne Perez and Trick Williams. A lot of focus on the North American Championship, which is fine, I guess, because they're trying to establish this new title. But they also still did character stuff, you know, which is what stuff that Raw doesn't do. Raw doesn't do character moments. And they crowned a new champion, which I'm not thrilled about, because I don't take that Heritage Cup seriously. So, but NXT, solid enough show. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.